Hi guys, this is Andrew Nub, and these are the best games of the week. First up we have Kritika Chaos Unleashed, published by GAMEVIL. Here's a really cool action RPG. When you start you can choose between two different characters. There is a joystick to move around and a button to attack, as well as skills to use. The graphics look really nice, and the gameplay is really action oriented. There's lots of levels to go through where you fight through mobs of monsters, and then there's a boss battle at the end. The animations look really cool. You can level up, get new equipment and skills. It's a high quality action RPG to check out.
I'm ready for a nap.
Next up we have Fightback, published by Chillingo. Here's a cool unique fighting game. So this fighting game uses tap and swipe controls, so there's no joystick. You tap the right side to attack on the right side, and you tap the left side to attack on the left. You tap to punch, swipe to kick, swipe down to dodge, and swipe up to jump. There's also lots of different directions and stuff you can do for different combos. So in each level you go through a couple waves of enemies, and sometimes there's a boss battle. The graphics and animations look good. Sometimes it can be challenging and difficult, but it's definitely a fun fighting game to check out.
I'll be back.
Next up we have Dino Hunter Deadly Shores, published by Glue. Here's a dinosaur hunting game, similar to most hunting games, but with dinosaurs. The graphics are really nice. You don't have free roam, so you can't walk around. You can only move left and right. There's lots of levels where you hunt different dinosaurs. You can move left and right, and there's a button to zoom in, and then you kill the dinosaur. There's certain spots that do more damage. Some dinosaurs run away, and some will fight back. The hunter has become the hunted. There's lots of guns to buy and upgrade. Fun dinosaur hunting game to check out. Next up we have Blackmoor, published by Mooff Games Limited. Here's a funny brawler adventure game. There's a joystick to move around and a button to attack. There's a couple of different characters to choose from. So there's lots of levels to go through where you fight monsters. The gameplay is kind of simple, but it is fun to play. There's different moves you can do, many of which are inspired by Street Fighter. There's some bosses which are fairly interesting to fight. Fun brawler, platforming adventure game to check out.
Yes!
Next up we have Sonic Jump Fever, published by SEGA of America. Here's a casual Sonic game where you jump around, so you tilt your device to move left and right, and your character will automatically jump on the platforms. You can also tap to double jump. You can kill enemies by hitting them from the bottom, and when this barding fills up, you go into this fever mode where you can collect lots of rings. There's different Sonic characters to unlock and stuff to collect. Fun casual Sonic game to check out. Next up we have King, the MMORPG, published by Coco Directouch. So here's a new MMORPG that came out. When you start out, there's 4 different classes, male and female, and 2 different factions. Graphics aren't the best, but it still looks decent. The combat is kind of like click and point with some skills to use. Everything feels a little automated though. There's auto move to your quest targets, and there's even auto combat, where your character automatically fights monsters. But there's a lot to do and there's lots of other players. Some people might be interested in this. Next up we have Transworld Endless Skater, published by SuperVillain Studios. Here's an interesting skateboarding game. The controls take a while to get used to, so the screen is divided into 4 areas where you do different stuff. So on the right side you can jump by holding and releasing, and you swipe in different directions to do different flips and grabs. And you use the left side of the screen to switch lanes and to grind. There are some different skaters to unlock. It's kinda casual and there's lots of different tricks and combos to do. Fun skateboarding game to check out. Next, 2 games had a soft launch last week. I didn't put in my last video since I had enough games, so I'll put in this one. First is Batman Arkham Origins, published by Warner Bros. This is kinda like a Batman brawler / fighting game, with controls similar to Injustice. So it looks like you tap on enemies to attack them, as well as some swiping and other tapping controls. The graphics look really good, and the fighting seems kind of casual. Seems like an interesting game to check out. Next is Lionheart Tactics, published by Kongregate. This game's only available in Canada right now, so here's a tactics RPG game. The artwork looks fairly good and has turn-based combat, so there's tiles to move your characters around like most tactics games. It looks like there's different characters to collect and lots of levels to go through. It's another interesting game in soft launch right now. And last we have Fantasy Warlord, published by GAMEVIL. Let's pause here real quick. Boobs, butt, boobs, boobs. They also have a pretty good trailer too. Here's a card game. This is one of those games where you collect cards and go through missions and stuff. When you start, you can choose between 3 classes. Yup, going with her. As far as the gameplay, there isn't much gameplay. You just keep pressing the mission button and you get golden experience. You can also fight other people, but that's also automated. But there's lots of cards to collect and people like these games for some reason, probably because of this.